Yo, YouTube. It's that time again. It's time for the PvP patch notes. My name is Vessel, aka Vessel Vision. You may have seen me in such films as I play BDO a lot and Man That Nerd Loves MMOs. I'm gonna go over the I'll be honest with you guys. The disclaimer: I wrote this down in an hour-long rant. That's how frustrated I am with the actual patch notes and the combat system and what's going on in today's patch notes. However, y'all don't need all that. Y'all know the state the game's in. However, I still want to touch base on everything, and we're just gonna touch briefly on what's going on. Let's look at it. Thursday, tomorrow, aka when you will be seeing this, they are doing the movement speed class adjustments. And they DOSA bombs. I'm not sure if they're going to DOSAs are going to getting the range ability buffs, but we are getting the new Harmony Droughts. In other words, last Thursday's patch, Global Lab patch, is an attempt to save the game. They understand the state that it's in, and they're going to try and fix things. However, this is not the way. So I can explain why. Basically, they're speeding everything up, and slows are going to be more important but less impactful. And they're going to be way less impactful. You'll see why. So they added server sylph buffs to the campsite. Beautiful changes. These are essentially the global lab changes from last Thursday. This is why I'm referencing this right now. And I want to go real quickly. Look at all the classes that I changed. I don't know how many classes there are on there. It feels like there's like 24 or 26 classes. If you notice, not a single change to Guardian. However, if you look in the KR patch notes, instead of listing under the class notes, when they mention this specifically, there's a drop down that says axe throw has been changed to 20%, 25% if you use the add-on for 5 seconds, and the passive is now 10% for 5 seconds. So it's gonna be attack and movement speed. However, it's still gonna be 10% for 5 seconds. So can I get some F's in chat for Guardian? Rip. I think my class is more dead than before. Oh, special attack evasion is now gone. They're literally removing it, and it's just gonna be 75 per point. So yeah, it's looking like 10% crystals are now just gonna be 750 HP crystals. Wonderful. That means you'll die standing to assassin classes and range classes. Okay, this is why I went on an hour-long rant. As you can see, they're so not in touch with their game, they don't understand. Why did they just spend all this time making the time to kill higher if they were just gonna make everybody die when they're standing with more HP? It's just gonna feel worse. It's gonna feel worse. Dying, yeah, it's gonna feel way worse. So you'll notice, basically, the speed reduction for all characters has been adjusted. Remove movement speed, reduce movement speed, reduce attack speed, reduce cast speed. Basically, everything that was 50% is now 20%. Now I could go over all the different stuff. It's not that big a deal. Everybody has a slow. The people who are mainly going to be affected by this are Awakened Wizard or Witch, who have a brand new spell, and Succession caster is going to be greatly affected by this, I believe, but not much. However, Guardian, and maybe Berserker and Warrior. However, they gave some stuff too. We'll go into. So, this is the big deal. All characters' movement and dash skills have been changed as follows. Basically, attack speed and movement speed buffs are going to affect every single dash skill and every single mobility skill in the entire game. Let's just go ahead and take a brief look at Divios. Let's just look at Divios. That's Divios on a striker. Moving faster than an current Awakened Nova. Exactly. This is where we wanted to be in 2024. Exactly. So what you see is what you get. Thank you so much for thinking this all through. On that same note, the game is going to be very fast-paced and very fun. You just won't be able to stop certain people with low ping who are very good at their classes, because they will always be protected. What do I mean by always be protected? They're making certain classes always protected. They're removing certain CCs, moving stuff around. For the most part, they're making people more protected. They're removing gaps. Pretty good. Their super armor has been added on, you know, pretty good. Grave digging lost its slow, knockdown. Like warrior looks good. SORC's got some things that look good, but then it looks like the KD has been added to a core. I'm not really sure. This seems kind of like a meme. And I did like the shadow leap in the middle of bats. So it's kind of like ifs, ands, or buts on the SORC thing. I'll be honest. Appears to be a little bit of a nerf to SORC, but they can take it. Smile. Omega law. So Berserker, the big deal about Berserker, you come here, it's literally just, so they no longer get health recovery for transforming into a beast. And then they added a slow to when they do transform to the beast. So that should be like their ultimates and other stuff. Stamina is no longer recovered in Lava Piercer times a rock, which is the Q buff. They made the Q jump back from the Magnus. Huge. You would think, except it just says no longer recovered. That it doesn't take any stamina. Nothing takes any stamina on Berserker. I'm not kidding you. And then, of course, they nerfed the heals, which I didn't even know that this healing was happening. The other heals are so crazy. I didn't even know this was why you couldn't. So this is why every Zerker just runs around and does nothing for 8 years, because they're just healing back up to full. And this doesn't make me feel better, right? Instead of getting 2.5% every 1 second for 20 seconds, now they're getting 900 every 5. Like none of this makes me feel better, right? This is like when they soft touch the Drac stuff. Great, right? They just know that Zerkers are gonna have so much more health after they give them this new special attack that they're just gonna be totally unkillable. So the health recovery on certain abilities, i.e. the ult, right, is to be taken away, which is pretty significant. They need the health recovery on hits for the ult. That is pretty crazy. I believe that's the ultimate. And yeah, so Fearsome Tyrant also now has 20 seconds. Now stamina does not come back during Lava Piercer, doesn't come back during Predatory Hunt, and Beast form being more detailed. And yeah, it's crazy. Giant Leap, stamina doesn't come back, but it does have a better forward leap, and it's 8 seconds. I think that awakening buffs are kind of huge. I don't know that this would be that big a deal with the melee hit rate anymore. Meanwhile, you'd rather have 5 seconds and then the forward guard. Yeah. So basically, they said they were nerfing Berserker, and if you pay attention, these both, where you used to catch them, these two forward guards, they're now super armor. I'm not sure you're ever going to catch a Berserker without using a grab ever again. So Tamer before the health before level 30 has been increased. Wow. Huge. Okay, the MAEWHA. We do like the Ice Fang changes, and then Pedal Drill. Huge. And then gave Tip of the Iceberg some more stuff. Elion heals. The heals, literally, Breath of Elion, Valkyrie, nerfed quite a bit because they're no longer percentage. However, in some instances, you might rather have the raw value of 4,500, so it's kind of a buff in certain situations. But the duration, I mean, not the durations, the cooldowns have been, you know, almost said screwed, really. But instead of 20%, you're going to do 600 of Prime Purification. Same thing with the leveled up Purification here. So, meh. Ninja, 5,000 health instead of 50%. That's going to be either huge or bad, depends on whatever. I could see this not being nearly as good in, like, I don't know, AOS, because it'll be 30% of 5,000 instead of just giving them 50%, right? And so that's kind of crazy, right? I think Witcher Wizard lost their 10-20%. That's their E heal. And then Retardando was made into this for Awakened Wizard, which is an interesting skill right here. You'll notice it's yeah, it's okay. Now it wasn't even protected. Now you'll notice Paralysis was made into this for Awakened Witch, which is protected and looks like a very good ability. Looks like it's a better ability because it has this almost 4K plus the 2K on the 5 hit. And then if you notice, the elementalization has been changed for 7 seconds to 5 seconds at Awakened Witch. So big Awakened Witch change is huge. They didn't need that weird gap in that skill. They didn't need it to be at 7 seconds. So that's 5 seconds, huge. Dark Knight, you can no longer use the jump height tech on Dark Knight. That's pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie, whoever was using Dark Knight to jump over the abilities, for those of you that don't know, there are a bunch of classes, including Warrior, I'm pretty sure you can still do it, where you can literally just jump over the enemy. And even though they're using a forward guard or super armor or whatever, or a CC, you can jump over the CC and then grab them, for example. Jump height builds are hilarious. So it's pretty funny they fixed it on Dark Knight. Somebody was using it to jump over the forward guard and CC somebody, I guarantee it. Fix the issue where the knockdown effect was not applied when activating. So basically, you were not being KD'd out of the Twilight comma and all the other stuff, and now you will be. We are all doomed. Okay. Rage Hammer, no bind, no big deal. Stiffen, blah blah blah. Forward guard added to. Yup. Exactly. Yup. So like, yeah, some good stuff. I noticed the Skull Crusher is basically given an attack speed in Prime, an attack speed buff. This is actually a huge buff for SUCC, because it will let them dash very fast because it's attack speed on when using the skill. And if you look in Awakening, Battle Cry has got the Scream CC on it given to it. No longer does a health recovery. Has more range. It's kind of terrifying. But if you go down to Skull Crusher, the attack speed is no longer there, and it just hits harder. So overall, I mean, Striker's just gonna be so fast. Like, it's gonna be so, like, you gotta remember how fast these classes are gonna be. Remember how fast Divios was flying across the screen. Mystic, Waveor, I feel like they're finally looking at the female versions of the classes that they're just ignoring. They're like, why is this it's so much worse? Why don't people play it? Yeah, because it sucks. So they're making Waveorb have a forward guard all the way through until the last action of the skill. I don't know why it wasn't until the last action of the skill. They just hated Mystics. I remember I was a Mystic. It was annoying. And they got rid of the slow in Waveorb. Pretty good. The Dragon's Pit skill has been changed as followed. Now this is the vacuum, I believe, because it doesn't say anything about slows. So the vacuum, I believe, is changing to 12 seconds. I could be wrong, but I'm not going to double check that. Could be wrong, but I believe that's the vacuum. The Dragon Strike skill has been changed as follows. So basically, Dragon Strike is going to give you a 5% down attack buff for 10 seconds, and it hits further and further away. Raging Wind looks pretty cool. I like it. It's got a down attack on it. And Infinite Fortitude will push you back and no longer gives you increased grab resistance, increases DR, because it gives you 80% damage reduction in super armor. This is huge because it doesn't show it, but there's a clip of So Frosty using it. It will literally push enemies away so you can jump on top of someone who's on the ground, cast this ability, and they will definitely get up. It also now heals you for 1200 HP, but it has a 40-second cooldown. That is very good for Awakened Mystics, making this ability incredible, especially in Arena of Solaire. Maybe I'll just play my Mystic again because I know Guardian's not getting buffed. Omega Low. So let's go through the LAHN overall. It looks like some buffs for LAHN. I'm not exactly sure how all this applies. I did hear Tilia say that they didn't need all this extra KD on Mangler. I believe that's how he said it. But yeah, it looks like the assassination stuff is gonna be better for LAHNs. I do believe some of this stuff is being changed to the way it used to be. I could be incorrect, but yeah, that's how I interpret this. So yeah, there we go. Now SHAI, we're gonna go through SHAI and Nova real quick, and then we're gonna hit Corsair, and we're almost done. So SHAI, basically their bubble is no longer an immovable barrier. However, external attacks are blocked for 5 seconds. It's beautiful. Their slow's been changed to 20% for 5 seconds. It's actually a little bit of a buff because it was 50% for 2 seconds. Now it's 20% for 5 seconds. I don't know. 2 seconds is literally nothing. So, and you can no longer jump over the bubble. Jump height is no longer a thing. Now, Winter Tetsudo, this is crazy. This is their wall. This is huge for Succession Novas. Succession Novas can use abilities The wall lasts for 20 seconds, and the cooldown is 4 minutes. So they'll be able to throw down this huge wall where you cannot drop damage through it, and then they'll be able to fight during that time, and the barrier will not disarm even if they use other things. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. CORSAIR. All right. They're getting the 20% on SA, just like maybe like a Awakened Guardian has. Huge. However, they're going to get a 30% damage reduction rate buff, which makes me think that it stacks whenever they use a whale tech. So that might be 50% DR total. I'm not sure, but I think that's how I interpret it. I'm not sure. This might take over this. We'll have to see. Basically, they're going to be tank, right? And they're going to make up for this by what? Oh, guess what? They're going to break your block every time they hit it. It's going to take them 2 hits to completely break your guard gauge. 2 Corsairs will instantly break your entire ball block, and you will instantly all die. I hate to say it that way, but I hope you all have iframes. It is going to be a Corsair meta. Get ready for the onslaught of the whales. Last time it was like this, it was not fun. We all made Corsairs to deal with it. The effect not being able to recover guard gauge is now 7 seconds, which I believe was 5. Y'all can correct me if wrong in the contents. No more float on Sea Stroll. Smooth sailing is no longer an attack. It just gives you mana. You can't kill people with it. The knockdown and wave blast has been changed, so only the first hit. Crashing waves, forward guard, pearl blast, no longer 20 seconds, it's 10 seconds. That's their hardest hitting skill, I believe, or it's one of their big finishers. I used to use it a lot if I recall. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. So this knockback has been so when making 2 successful hits, been changed from knockback to knockdown, and the status has been changed to apply to PvP as well. They got a knockdown on Whale Song Prime. Beautiful. So, in keeping with everything else, Markdenen's Heart, which is the shift Q in Awakening Drakania, has now only 200 per tick instead of 5%. Succession is going to be 400 per tick instead of 5%. Abyssal Advance is in Awakening is going to give 400 per tick because it says it uses the Succession. And the core on Sundering Roar and Extinction are both going to be forward guards. Now, that's pretty crazy because the Defense Judgment on Base Savage Decree and Tectonic Slam were also changed to forward guards. So, Awakened Drak is now almost all forward guards on its damage skills. This means they're going to hit the ground a lot. This is the nerf we've been looking for in general. They're still going to hit really hard. They're still going to be really fast. Possibly unimaginably fast, but at least you might be able to see C1. Cloud Strife is going to be a super armor. We'll see. We shall see. They still heal a lot in Awakening. Once again, this is only the shift Q. And they did get forward guards instead of super armors. So it is what it is. It's good. We'll take what we can get, folks. WOOSA. So, only the health ability has been changed for Succession WOOSA. As usual, Succession WOOSA dodges everything. They will now make it a 4,200 health recovery even instead of 60%. It's probably easier to balance that way for AOS and stuff. Who knows? I'm not really sure. And then accordingly, accordingly, they've decided to basically make Awakened WOOSA worse. From what I understand, I talked to one of the best Awakened WOOSAs in the game. Shout out to my boy Fjord. That, yeah, this is just an overall nerf. Like, you have to get a different core. You have to get a core for something to stun now. And, yeah, apparently this is an overall nerf to Awakened WOOSA. Let me know what y'all think. I think that they have no idea what's going on. Why else would they make everybody faster like that when the problem is people are too fast for the problem is people are too fast already. We can't deal with Berserker, right? Or like certain warrior, like I don't know. So MAEGU Twirling Crane is no longer going to do 40%. It's going to do a flat 2,800 health. These values are still really high, I noticed. So it seems like they just really want you to get a fair amount of health back still. So it looks like Gravity Blink's going to work forward on Scholar. Beautiful. The major change is you can't link these two after extraction, which is actually huge. However, Gravity's Grip is no longer going to have the throw animation. That'd be the grab. So Scholar's grab is now good. It no longer has the same distance as before if you look at this animation. However, it's the same distance as a Guardian grab now. So the difference is Guardian has slide into it. The Scholar does not have a slide, I don't believe. However, there's might be some tech we don't know about. So the hammer smash and hammer spin are gonna now CC on their first hit instead of the second and third hit, respectfully, which is huge. Scholars basically gonna have a more sustainable combo. They're gonna have a better grab, and because of all the dodges and the dash mechanics, it's gonna be much smoother and easier to use it to Scholar. DOSA is crazy. I'm not going to go into everything but DOSA because I'm not sure if this is all coming in this Thursday or in a week from now. Basically, they're getting the Dragon's Maul range where they can hit everything on the screen in front of them in a V on what looks to be their 2 big CCs. And everything that used too much stamina is lost about 100 stamina. And whenever you're inside your deep haze or whatever this is, or what, yeah, whenever basically you get restored in this, and I'm not really sure exactly what that means. You can let me know. And then the rebombs are out. I will say, notable of the rebombs, I have to mention this looks super cool. This iframe into dance, just linger here, that's gonna be crazy useful, I'm almost positive. And then some of this stuff looks just automatic. I think you have some parry rebombs which just look pretty sick. As you see, special attack evasion will no longer exist as of today, this video. And yeah, how do y'all feel about that? Overall thoughts, I had to do a Rager video. I had to calm down after my Rager video and go into this. Like, they did come out with some sub elixirs, which turn into the the Triforce of all elixirs. Thank God they came out with this. I really wanted to do more elixir junk. And of course, you can buy tint buffs from, or church buffs from your tint. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Then the number one change, they took away the rock next to the castle. And of course, they added a torch in case you wanted to get stuck on something and you were a tall character trying to run inside the castle. Keck W. So when we look at Thursday's changes, and we see adjusted movement speed, change special effects, special evasion effects. We see this already. What can we assume? Perlabest still has no idea what they're doing. Please make this make sense to me. I spent over an hour making the first version of this video. I went on forever about every little thing, but I am not just gonna sit here and pretend that my audience doesn't already know all of this stuff. I just have to point it out. I have to be like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like can does anyone have any insight to this? I think that maybe they're trying to and I heard this from a couple people. The hopium is good. They're trying to regulate damage by making it like more reasonable. But all I gotta say to that is, good God, we're gonna die to assassins. We're gonna die to casters. Of rangers and archers. We're gonna die we're gonna die standing again. And why even do all the other reworks if we're just gonna die standing? All right, I didn't go on a crazy rant. That was too bad, right? All right, thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Well, I guess watching too. Drop some comments below what you think about the direction the game is going. Once again, these are the PvP patch notes. A lot of this is going live this Thursday. Some of it's going live next Thursday. If they don't do another round of it, Guardian is dead on arrival. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And please, catch me live on Twitch. And hit that button. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.